happening? We are live. I am excited. I'm excited to jump in with you guys. We've got almost 100 people signed up for the webinar, and we are ready to rock and roll. If you are watching, we've got almost 20 people on now. If you're watching, drop a comment just so you can let me know if you can hear me. We'll do a sound check real quick and let me know where you're tuning in from. Drop your name, drop your number. Let's get some action going here, guys. I am looking forward to going through the story of how we took integrity junk removal from 0 to 15K in 4 months. So let's see some comments just so I can make sure everything's working. Then I'll do a quick 30 minute countdown and we will rock and roll from there. Some comments, please, guys, just to let me know. Awesome. We've got Rob in here. I'm assuming Rob can hear me because he dropped a comment with where he's from. So Rob, appreciate that. Rob Nelson, got Jason. He is out crushing it. All right, guys, we're gonna do a 30-second countdown and I'm just gonna share it out to a couple of groups and then we'll get rocking. All righty, Caleb is as pumped up as I am. All righty, I will see you in 30 seconds. All right, it's on, and we're going to get right into it. We've got about 30 people here live. I'll just check the comments here. We've got Caleb there. We've got Mike Fry from Detroit. Denise, awesome. Yeah, Canadian American. We've got PhD Home Solutions. We've got Brandon Garcia from San Antonio, Texas. We've got Sean with High Desert Disposal. Got Dina Benson from Pittsburgh, PA. And we've got Halsedal from Northwest Louisiana. Guys, I'm excited to have you here. Excited to dive in today. We've got Junk King here from Grand Rapids. So I'm going to get right into it here and share my story. This is, kind of a disclaimer at the beginning here. This is my story. Would I have done it differently if I were to do it again? Yeah, absolutely. Would I, have done some of the same things that we did again? Absolutely. So we'll dive right into the story, but this is the story of how we grew integrity junk removal to 15K in 4 months and then on to 30, 50, 70K months over the next couple of years. But I want to give some tips here that you can use if you're a beginner and you're just getting rocking. And I also want to, there's going to be some tips in here that I would be doing consistently. Now, I'll get into a little bit of the story, but I was involved in the business for about 1.5 years. And then Ryan took it over from there and I kept going on the agency. So I was running a digital agency before and, kept the main thing. We had 2 kids at the time. We now have 4 kids. I've got the agency. Focus, what you focus on grows. So needed to pay attention to what was the main thing for me, but had a blast here. I want to share some of that with the community. That's been really, really great to me. So we'll dive into it. So what can you expect? We're going to, I just went through, we're going to talk about the integrity junk removal story. I'm going to talk about things that work for us. I'm going to talk about, tips that you can use to go out there and make money. I was saying to someone the other day that, the price of admission to this is free. But if you can take that, let's say you paid $10, I firmly believe that you can 100x your time value spent here listening. If you just take one of the tips here that I give to implement, because I saw that happen when we were rocking and rolling. So I'm going to give some website tips, some Google business listing tips, all that good stuff. Some money making tips that I don't see really shared a whole lot, including the feast method, which is something that I have shared before. But it's something that I've just turned into an acronym to help people remember it a little bit more. And then at the end, I'm going to give a secret tip to help you take all the leads that you're going to get from this method and turn them into more jobs down the line. All right, who am I? I'm a husband to an amazing wife, a circus leader to 4 kiddos, although I think my wife really gets that title because she handles the circus most of the time. I've got a background in construction and trades. So all through high school, 4 years after high school, I was doing everything from roofing to fencing to pool installs, you name it. I probably did a little bit of it, a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of this and that, all through that. My dad was a licensed contractor and concrete layer. In the agency space, built over 500 websites with my team over the last 6 years, and we've helped over 200 clients with their SEO. So on top of the stuff I learned hands-on with the junk removal business, we've also seen and tested and implemented some of those things specifically for clients as well. And finally, I am a firm believer that whether you're just starting out today or you've been around for a few years and you're ready to kind of rejuvenate things in the local area and really dominate your market, I'm a firm believer that you can look like you're a 50-year-old company in a very short amount of time. And I say that having done that with Integrity Junk Removal. And I say that having seen other businesses take some of these things and really rock and roll with those things. So drop comments if you have them. I want this to be very interactive. I want this to be something that, again, you find useful. And I'm going to stay on this stream as long as there's someone still asking questions. So I've got, my presentation here just so I don't go off track. But then if there's questions at the end, I will, I can even send a link out to people to jump on and we can have a conversation here. But I'm going to just stay on and answer questions for as long as they come or until I lose my voice. All right, so we've got Colby here. I think we went through that. Jason is out doing jobs, and Russell says the circus leader. Yep, it's a circus with 4 kids. They're all under 6, so it's a fun one. We love them. All right, so Integrity Junk Removal. This is the company that we, myself and Ryan was a friend of mine that I met in university as we were getting our mechanical engineering degrees. He went on to graduate before he started before I did. He graduated before I did, went on to start as a mechanical engineer at a local mill. And then he saw what I was doing with Blue Crocus Solutions, wanted to come, learn that stuff. And then we started Integrity Junk Removal about a year later. So it's in Fredericton, New Brunswick, where I live. Our population is 80,000 to 100,000, depending on the time of year. So this time of year, school, university starts next week. And for your Americans, and my American friends on the stream here, university, college, same thing. But the town flexes. So it's about 80,000 in the summer, up to 100, 110,000 with all the students that come in for school. And it was amazing. We got out of that, small amount of population. We were able to pull some pretty good numbers. There were, 6 to 10 companies at the time when we started. Now I'd say there's 20 out there rocking and rolling now. But timeline, we started in May of 2021. So it was, a little bit late in the season, actually. I would have, if I were to redo it and, circumstances being what they were, I probably would have started like December, January, getting everything in line. But timeline just worked out that way. So we actually started like May 1st. You'll see here, we did like $160 the first month and then went on there. So we did junk removal, demo, that sort of stuff. I mean, in the first month, we did like, first couple months, we did a few like trailer rentals and stuff like that, but it was mainly junk removal and demo, and grew to $15K per month in 4 months. So that's just setting the stage of, why should you listen to me? And, what can happen if you follow some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about here. So here's the timeline again, just to kind of bring you guys along the journey. $160 the first month in May, $2,500 in June. It's actually $2,570 and 35 cents, but it just messed up my presentation. But just so you guys know, I'm not just pulling random numbers out. Then almost 10,000 in July, just about $20 short there. And then just a hair over 15,000 in August. So this came from our website, from our Google business profile. And then I'm going to go into some community stuff, really, for lack of a better term, that we did, community networking, community building, stuff that we did to really become the person that people started recommending in the groups and become, the company that people were tagging, or, hey, I called because my friend said I should, reach out to you guys. So we're going to get through some of that and we'll have fun. So this was our first truck. Ryan is a chronic automotive history purchaser. So this was one that he was looking to restore, and we ended up putting it into service here as our first truck. Because it was a fairly quick, that'll be a story that'll come out later in my book that's launching later this year. But was a fairly quick turnaround that we decided to start this. So we just took the truck that was at our disposal, and it turned out to be this piece of automotive history, an 80s Chevy square body. And, we got going. And I think the thing that I like about this too is it's not like we just came in with, trust fund babies and rocked this out. Sure, Ryan had this truck, but I don't think he paid a whole lot for it. And then you'll see on the next slide, we did end up upgrading too, but we ended up renting a trailer for a bit until we could get going. And the reason I say this as well is if you're just starting, start somewhere. I know some people rent U-Hauls. We've had, times where the trailer went down and we had to rent a trailer. We did that at the beginning. It's just funny, going back through the pictures and seeing where we started. It's cool. All right. And then after 4 months here, we had gotten an actual truck. We had gotten it branded. We gotten the trailer branded there with the wraps there. And I will just pause on here because I don't have a specific slide for this, but branding is so important. You can see the difference between the two, right? This here, anybody can buy a trailer and put sides on it. We don't really know what they're about and who they are. Honestly, it's pretty sketchy looking. If I look at this setup here, and we made it work, and we were safe, and everything is tied down and everything, but it's pretty sketchy looking. For any trade you're in, if you can get your truck wrapped, or at least lettering. So we didn't do an actual truck wrap. We just did lettering here with the phone number. And then on the side of the trailer, what we did is we had the wooden sides. You can see it a little bit here in this one here. We've got the wooden sides there. And then we actually got an aluminum sheet, put it along the side, and then had like a vinyl wrap on the aluminum sheet there. So it was a nice, surface to bond it for. We did have, so Mark asked the question, did we have commercial insurance after wrapping? We had commercial insurance before wrapping. That was a tricky part in the first month of actually getting insurance. Turned out there was only like one insurance provider in our area that would cover us, and we had gone looking for a few quotes, and apparently that slowed the process down and everything. But we definitely recommend getting insurance as soon as you possibly can. And at what point do I recommend branding? We did this as fast as we could. So it was a matter of, we had this truck. We started doing some jobs. We had the sides on the trailer. We did purchase this dump trailer pretty quickly, which I would highly recommend if you're in junk removal to get a dump trailer. It just makes life better. But then as soon as we could, we got it branded. So we went to a local firm. At the time, Blue Crocus Solutions, my agency, wasn't doing branding. So we went to a local firm, Momentum Design and Print, and they designed our logo, and they did the wraps, and they actually printed them and installed them on the aluminum sheets, and then we just installed the aluminum sheets on the thing there. Mike Fry's tuning in from Michigan. We've got a few representing from Michigan here. Rob says, I can't find a company that will insure junk removal. So guys, keep the questions coming. This is awesome. Toby Stubbs is the guy for doing insurance. If he can't help you, he'll refer you. I'm not sure if he's insuring California. Rob, I think you said you were out of Texas there. But Toby Stubbs is the guy. If he can't help you, he'll probably be able to help you find someone. I had him on my podcast a while ago, but he's able to help people sometimes cut their insurance in half. Insurance will often misallocate what your trucks are, and you can get charged a lot more. All right, Mike says, I have magnetic signs on my trucks. Yeah, Amazon's a great source for magnetic signs. So you can just put them on the side of your truck there. Vistaprint is another as well. That's really good. Progressive can do insurance there. Denise says he does do California. Okay, cool. I'd seen some posts the other day and wasn't sure. So foot and mouth there. All right, so back to here. After 4 months, we were rocking and rolling. Obviously got up to the 15K. But this is what we looked like month 2 or 3, get all branded and ready to go. We did that as fast as we could possibly turn it around with the local company, because we knew as soon as we got it branded, we'd start getting jobs, and that did happen. We absolutely did, start getting people saying, hey, I saw your wraps, I saw your trucks, and they were calling in. So this is, again, after 4 months, we had the website live, we had the Google Business Listing live. We actually had, I had a bit of advantage on the website side because of the agency, but I will say now with ChatGPT, which there wasn't back in 2021, a lot of you have an advantage that if you put some time and sweat equity into this, you can build out a lot of good quality pages fairly quickly because you know your business, you know what you're doing. But we had the website live, the Google Business Listing live. and calls were coming in. So we had a tracking numbers and whatnot. That's one tracking number with 56 calls there in August. And this is our current review count there, but yeah, things were rocking and rolling, and it was fun. So I show all of this to say, again, paint the picture of where we're going and what this can do for you if you follow the steps that I'm going to lay out here. Kevin says, did you do any property cleanouts or commercial projects? Yeah, I did. We did. We cleaned out some kiosks in the mall. We did some light demolition for some commercial property managers. There's a few more that come to mind, but yeah, we absolutely did. We went really hard on that. Again, I don't have a slide specifically on that because I couldn't fit the whole story in this, but I would basically reach out to construction companies, cold call them, and say, hey, this is me. This is Lewis. I'm just reaching out to see how we can support other business owners. I run integrity junk removal, and I'm not calling to pitch you. I'm just calling to say, hey, this is what we do. And I know a lot of business owners, and if there's anybody I can connect you with, anything that you're running into that's tricky, let me know. And that kind of opens the door for them to be like, oh, well, okay, that's odd, that you're not just saying, hey, I do junk removal and it's this much, and you should come buy my services. But it was, hey, how can I help you out? So that's a mentality that I have found serves me really well in the agency space and the junk removal space. Everywhere was a shift that I had, where instead of coming to people and being like, hey, I need money, and I'm panicking because I need income, it's what's in it for them, how can I give them value. There's a great book that I would kind of put back to this shift for myself, and it's The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. Absolutely, it's a little parable basically, and he goes through how this salesman was struggling, and then he went to this guru and he just told him like these simple things that changed his mindset, and he started giving people value and whatnot, and it just blew up for him. So yeah, that's where commercial leads come from, to answer Kevin's question. Jamie's in the house. Awesome. Kevin, nice. Awesome. Yeah, so that was commercial stuff. All right, so how did we do it? How did we get to such quick growth? And where did luck meet the preparation, right? Of course, it's there's some luck involved in everything like this, but it's also a combination of being prepared and putting in the work. A lot of early mornings and late evenings around my family life and agency life to build this stuff up and to get rocking and build the connections and stuff as we went through. But ultimately, it came down to having a solid website, having a Google business profile, doing backlinks and stuff, which I've done 2 or 3 webinars already on backlinks specifically, so you can go watch them. But I'm going to talk specifically, how they related to integrity junk removal here today. And then we leveraged YouTube quite a lot. So YouTube videos that we would then embed on our website and show off what we're doing. So there's that visual aspect as well as the aspect of ranking in them. So YouTube is a search engine. YouTube is a signal back to your website that that you've got something going on, and that is what all of these search engines are looking at. We can get into ChatGPT and the LLMs, Claude, Perplexity, etc. We've got Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo and everything over here, but they're all looking at, are you a reputable business? And so all of those things played into it. And then offline, there was the really relentless community effort. This was my favorite part. Obviously, I do SEO for a living. So websites, Google business listings, backlinks, all of that is my bread and butter, and I love that stuff. But the community stuff, it just hit different with me. There's something so cool about seeing people recommend you. There's something so cool about seeing stuff pop off in the community groups. There's something just so neat about seeing the community come together and support your business because you're doing something cool for the community. We've got Vladimir in the house here. Yardstar says, what is a GBP? A Google business profile. So we'll get into that and how to optimize it and whatnot. But a Google business profile, free to set up, and people can leave reviews on it. You can get jobs through it. Really, really powerful. All right, so some of this stuff for you guys. I come into it with a little bit more of a background in kind of this digital manipulation, if you will. But I was pretty nervous doing some of this stuff. The feast method, involves some chutzpah. You got to get out there and you got to take some moves, and you might be as nervous as a salmon in a bear hug. But I'm here to hopefully, that's why I set up the story the way that I did, so that you can see what the results can be if you follow some of these things. And I'm hoping that, if you are nervous and don't really know what to do, just give me a call. You can reach out to me on Facebook or YouTube, leave a comment. But my lines are open. You can call my team. You reach out, and we'd love to help you. And oftentimes I'll just jump on a call and help someone through it, because this stuff is so fun for me. But then there's the other, aspect of where I want everyone on this call. You guys have all shown that you're this type of person anyway by showing up to this webinar, but you're going to do whatever it takes to win. And some of this stuff might make you a little nervous, but I know that you're the type of people that are just going to get out there. You're going to do the thing. You're going to do what it takes to dominate, and you're going to do whatever it takes. So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts here. So one of the first things we did was work on the Google Business Profile, the GBP, which we'll get into here. But I also bought a domain immediately. Like, as soon as we knew the business was a going concern, I went and bought a domain immediately. Namecheap, GoDaddy, both excellent domain providers. But you've got to get something up on Google. You've got to get something up there showing Google that you're a legit business, that you're a growing concern, and then you're also going to get leads off of it as you start to build this out. So we'll go through some of the things here. You can also, again, there's so much to cover. I couldn't include all of it in a slide, but once you get your website up, you're going to want to go into Google Search Console, which is a free service that Google provides, and then you can look at, what are the clicks that I'm getting? What are the things that people are seeing that I do? In fact, I'll just do that right now, and we'll just go live here. Because again, I want this to be, really actionable and not just fluff here for you guys. So I'll go into Integrity Junk Removal Search Console. So this is the Search Console for Integrity Junk Removal. So this is the last 16 months, you can see. And we haven't really been doing SEO since I stopped, working with the companies in end of 2022. But it's just kept growing from there. And that's the power of SEO, is all the work that we did then continues to build and continues to grow. So, rather than just turning on ads, ads wise, we're going to get into Facebook boosting a little bit, but Google ads we never ran. It was all organic growth there. But what I wanted to show you here with Search Console, I'll just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see, hopefully, a little bit. That doesn't really do it. But what you can do is you can go into Search Console, and not only can you see your clicks and your impressions and everything going up, and that's awesome, but you can go in here, you can sort by queries. So junk removal Fredericton is our top clicked query. We can also go in here, we can look at position, we can look at impressions. So junk removal, just the term, is getting a ton of impressions and a few clicks. And then I would look down here, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of this a little bit here when we get into building out pages on your website. But let's say yard waste removal is something that I really want. I can see that I'm getting a lot of impressions for it, and only 3 clicks here in the last few months. So maybe I want to build out that page a little bit more. Maybe I want to build out a little bit more content on that. Maybe I want to do a couple of videos on that. What is yard waste removal? What do we do? You can put those on YouTube. You can do those things to help your business grow. And a lot of this stuff that I'm going to be talking about is just building a web of information about your business online. Demolition Fredericton. So this is a very specific location-based term. Demolition Fredericton here, we're ranking #1 for it, but it's getting a fair number of impressions. So maybe I would look at, okay, which pages are getting clicks? So you can click into here, Demolition Fredericton, and then it will tell you which pages are getting the most clicks and so on. So the home page is actually getting more clicks than the demo pages. So I might build that out a little bit more and try and get those pages ranking too. So went on a tangent there, but you're going to set up your website, you're going to buy a domain, you're going to get rocking, and you're going to, start down that journey. Now, for websites, I would recommend Duda.co. So there's been a lot of kerfuffle in the groups lately about Duda versus WordPress. I've used both interchangeably over the last 6 years. Integrity Junk Removal is built on Duda. It is still built on Duda. Duda is an excellent platform that you can go in and you can build on. There's lots of agencies that build on it, but it's really user-friendly, and it rivals WordPress in its SEO capabilities. We've switched a lot to WordPress as an agency because it's a bit easier for scaling, but it's so easy to go in. You can get there's lots of templates and whatnot that you can pull up, and you can get rocking there with that. So here, let me just show you this. So they've got some AI tools and stuff built into it now, but you can go in here. Pricing is like $19 a month for hosting for the site. You can connect your domain to it, and you're ready to rock. All right, I keep saying, I keep jumping away from the presentation here, but here's our website actually live, integrityjunk.ca. You can go see it. and you can go take a look. Let's see the comments here, though. All right, so Rob's saying magnetic signs. We went through that comment. Denise said that Toby does do California. All right, we've got Vladimir giving Rob some tips. Bandit signs do absolutely work. I didn't include that. We didn't do a ton of bandit signs ourselves. I wish I had, because I've seen the effectiveness of it since then. Bandit signs can be absolutely incredible, and can bring in work quicker than a website and SEO because they're just right there. People are going to call them and whatnot. This presentation isn't about how to make the best bandit signs, but if you can just have something simple like junk removal on your phone number, yellow on black is really, really effective. Just gets people's attention, they call, and you're good to go. Eureka has some good tips here about insurance. I'll let you guys read that. Vladimir says, bandit signs are hit and miss. Consistency is so, so important for bandit signs. And yard signs, bandit signs, people use them interchangeably here. Mark, yeah, I do recommend price estimator tools if you can do that. ChatGPT can help you build some. There's definitely some good ones. Why not to have price? I don't have a good argument for why not to have a price estimator. The more transparency you can have about pricing on your website, the absolute better you can be. Think about yourself when you're shopping. You're looking for something on Amazon. You're looking for something anywhere. You want to see the price there. Then you can compare. Even if it's your website talking about what goes into pricing and why junk removal is costs more if it's up in the attic, or why it's cheaper if it's out on the curb. Those sorts of things are incredibly valuable for someone to be able to see beforehand, and then for them to know kind of what they're getting into and to know the questions to ask. So you can lay those out in some video form. You can lay them out. You can have a pricing page that lays out, all these different things on there. So Mark, you can never go wrong with pricing. Pricing, in fact, is a very, very commonly searched term. All right, we'll get into the YouTube strategy here when we talk about video. So if I forget, bring me back in there. But what I want to show you here is we've got a ton of different pages here on our website. Residential junk removal, we've got a bunch. Commercial junk removal, we've got a bunch. Demolition, we've got a bunch here. And that blows people's minds sometimes when they see that. And then on the back end, that's not even on the navigation, we've got like some location pages and stuff. When you're building a website, think about it from Google's perspective, or from some of the LLM's perspectives. If you can build out a page specifically for hot tub removal, and you talk about all the questions people have, and you have a little video on it, and you have these different things around, the questions that people ask about hot tub removal, those sorts of things make that page really specifically catered to hot tub removal. And so if it's a competitive market, especially if you can have the page on hot tub removal, you've now created a moat for yourself. You've created a differentiation for your business and for your SEO from other websites out there when it comes to hot tub removal. And that's really, really powerful. So we're going to get into it here on why you want to have multiple pages, but we'll get back into the presentation here for a second. So we talked about this. You need to have at least something. You need to build on it. I got ahead of my slides here a bit, but you want to get at least one page up, just a simple homepage, even if it's your logo, your phone number, a contact form, and that just some basic stuff like that. Get it up, get it indexed, get Google seeing it, and then you can build from there. Now I'm talking about you need to have more pages than just one on your website. So here's a spreadsheet. People can reach out to me if you want, but what this spreadsheet is basically, this is a list of all the different service pages you could have on your website. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see depending on what you're looking at here. But residential junk removal, we got furniture, appliance, mattress, piano, equipment, play sets, curbside, yard waste, yard cleanup. We've got commercial, it's got office cleanout, office cubicle, industrial, warehouse, commercial, plazas, and retail store closeouts, retail store merch cleanouts, shelving, wedding party cleanup, e-waste removal, dumpster clearing. All of these are services that people are looking for. And the more of those that you can have on your website as specific pages, maybe you start out with a services page that lists out all the things that you do, and then you add some blurbs, some paragraphs to each one of them, and then you start building out some pages. You can be incremental, but the sooner you can get up useful, interesting, informative pages about these different services, the sooner Google sees exactly all the different things you do. And then when people are searching, there's a specific page dialed in for those specific services. Really, really powerful for your SEO. and powerful for showing up and getting more jobs. So if someone wants this, we've basically got a list here that we use for our clients, but there's just so many pages on here that you can build out, and you can build them out much quicker now with AI than you used to. That's a whole thing. I can answer some questions about AI. We didn't use AI for integrity, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. There's tons of resources on writing content with AI that you can use, but suffice it to say that there's tons of stuff out there you can use for that. So core concept from this one is you need more than one page on your site. Ideally, you'd have a page for every single service and every single location, suburb, city, etc., that you serve. All right. Now, when you're writing out those pages, each page should clearly answer the question, what do you do and where do you do it? So in this case, we're writing a page about residential junk removal in, you guessed it, Fredericton, NB. This is really important for Google, for ChatGPT, for the AI, for any of those engines that are looking for answers online. They need to know what it is that you do and where you do it, and they don't know unless you tell them. So the more clear you can be about the specifics of what you do, where you do, how you do it, the more likely it is that you'll show up in the search results. Now, this is getting a little bit into the SEO jargon of it, but you want your title tag, your meta description, your H tags, all of that to reflect what you do and where you do it. So this is an H tag here. Well, we'll just go look here at the website here. So I've got a little H tag tool here. And you can see the H1 tag here is same day or next day junk removal in Fredericton. Got an H3 tag is how we organize this one. But the H2 tag is, again, your junk removal solution in Fredericton and in Rockdale. They're kind of sister cities here. And you can see how we've organized that throughout the site. And that is showing Google, AI, etc., the hierarchy of what's important to each page. Vladimir is asking, would you have a generic area page or a page for each area? So again, this comes down to how much time you can invest, right? Like some people have, 20 different service areas. So you could write 50 service pages, 20 service area pages, and then service area service pages under those. So you have to, pace yourself, right? As a general rule, you want to have at least one page that says these are all the areas that we service. And then you can build out sub-specific pages under those for those specific areas. All right, so we got into the specifics there a little bit. You just want to tell what you do and where you do it, everywhere you possibly can on your website. And this goes for everything, whether you're posting videos on Facebook, on Instagram. Instagram now indexes content on there, so you can have a great description that talks about what you do and where you do it. And that's going to help you show up. Reddit, Pinterest, YouTube, all of those apply SEO principles. Why? Because they have to sort out the billions of content pieces out there to see, what's the one that they should serve up when someone's looking for junk removal in your area. So we talked about separate pages for each service and city. So in this case, it's best junk removal in Nakawik, New Brunswick. Premier junk removal in Nakawik is the URL. So again, I'm just harping on that. You need to have a page for every single service, and then you can build out service area pages as well. And that's, how you get when someone's looking for junk removal in Fredericton. You've got a Google business profile here. You've got us showing up. This is more recent now because there are AI overviews, but we've always been ranking really well. And, we're showing up here in the AI overviews. Our website is right there as well. All right. Awesome questions so far, guys. I'm moving quickly through some of this stuff. Well, I'm moving quickly through all of this. I want this to be valuable. I want this to be, a good use of everyone's time. So we're going to keep rocking here. Now, Google Business Profile, I'm not going to go through how you can set it up, but I am going to go through some basics of optimizing it. So you want to fill out your description, what you do and where you do it. Again, back to that specific there. You're going to add services and products on the back end. Write that down if you need, but in the business profile, there's a section to list services. Then you can link those to your service pages. Then on the back end, you can even add services and products back there as well. Mike says, will you share this deck? I can. Yeah, I absolutely can. The recording will be available. Mike, just shoot me an email. Just go to our website, drop a message, or send me a message on Facebook. And I can certainly get this over to you for sure. So you're going to fill out the description. You're going to add services and products. Oh, I didn't bring his comment up there, but yeah, anybody who wants it, shoot a message over, shoot a text over wherever you signed up for the thing as well. That all comes back to me, and we'll get you sorted out. You can also do questions and answers. So we're going to go to the listing here. Integrity junk removal. Let's see if it brings that up. Google saved my spelling there, but we've come down here. So this is the description. So we talk about our brand, where we work, what we do. We've got the products here. So this isn't even filled out all the way, but you can put up to 1,000 characters in here. You can link it over to the dumpster rentals page. So Ryan was doing some dumpster rentals after my time. Actually, who asked the question here before? Keith was it, I think, or Kevin. Kevin says, did we get any commercial projects? So this is one actually at a mall. This is the picture of us even before we were branded. So this would have been in the first couple months where we did a kiosk clean out, demoed a kiosk in there, cleaned it out and whatnot. But why did I come over to show you this page? Oh, yes. We came from the Google Business Profile. And that was the one linked from the dumpster rental. So when you do the products, you can link that page to that specific service page. You can obviously get reviews from every single possible client, guys. That is such an important thing for SEO. It's such an important thing too, as it's ammunition for you. It's what's the word I'm specifically looking for here? But it's assets that you can use on social media. It's assets that every client sees, or a prospective client sees when they're coming to look at your business. It's social proof that you guys do what you say you're going to do, and it can help you land jobs. So you're going to fill out your description. You're going to add products and services. You're going to, there's a questions and answers section too. You can ask a question and then answer it. There's services on the back end that you can fill out. We'll get into the photos here a little bit, but you want to have nice looking photos as well. Google actually cares about that. All right, so we're going to present here. Have really nice photos. And when you upload the photos, rename the photos or put a caption of where you did the work and what you're doing. So stump removal and charter settlement NB, stump and brush removal with excavator. So we're kind of like telling Google what it is specifically that's in the picture and what we were doing on the job. And that it's big. It's a big deal. And Google looks at all that stuff. All right, how are we doing, guys? I'm going to take a quick water break here. Guys and girls, we're rocking through here, getting into the fun stuff here. So that's the basics of SEO. I've done a lot of content on that. If you guys have more questions, we can certainly answer them at the end. But I want to hit some of the community stuff that I found was so effective and take advantage of your guys' time here while you're here. And then I'll stay for as long as people have questions after about the SEO stuff. So Facebook, social media, I can speak to that platform because it's the one I've used the most in, for our junk removal business and for our agency. But when you have a Facebook profile, I've pulled up two here. We've got Jim Schomburg here with One Dial Dumpster. This is his personal profile. David Leddick as well. He's got his business there, his nice branded picture. Facebook is an untapped resource that most people are scared to use or don't know how to use. When I say scared, maybe they're like, oh, I can't post business stuff because my uncle's going to make fun of me at the reunion. Well, does your uncle pay your bills? I don't think so. And so we're going to get into that process here. Phil, you asked the question that I'm just about to answer. That's brilliant. Just kind of tease me up here to how we use Facebook and what we use. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your Facebook profile and optimize it for your business. Go on Canva, make a nice cover photo for yourself, make a nice branded professional looking photo for your picture here. And then in your intro, you're going to talk about what you do and where you do it. And then you're going to have a link to your website or your Facebook page right there. And we'll get into this when if Jim's going into the Facebook groups, his Facebook page, when someone clicks on him, the nosy Nancy's, they're going to see what he does and where he does it and all this good stuff. And it's a calling card now for his business. I would have used a picture of myself, but I'm no longer branded for Integrity Junk Removal. I'm branded for the agency, so I just went out and found some people who are crushing it here. But you can go do this. Basically, a cover photo, your profile picture, fill out the about info on the side of your profile there, what you do, what your business is, and that's your personal profile. So to Phil's question, the next one that you're going to be doing is, so this slide basically is just saying most people miss optimizing their Facebook personal profiles. It's so key. Even if you don't post a ton, just do it. Use it like a LinkedIn page. Now, your Facebook business pages, you're going to do the same thing. Obviously, I could pull a picture from Integrity Junk Removal. You've got a nice picture of the truck, a nice picture of the brand. Jim's got his cover photo here. He talks a little bit about what he does, where he does it, and then Jim's posting. So Phil's question is, do you use personal and business profiles? I personally use the business profile as the foundation. So I post stuff on the business profile, and then I'll share it out from the business profile typically to my personal page, to the Facebook groups, which we'll get into here in a bit. But the business page is the anchor. The Facebook personal page is still going to be used, but the business page is the anchor because that's the brand that you want to build. So if we got your business page and that's the anchor, what are you going to post? Well, you've got pictures of yourself with clients. You've got team pictures. You've got notable locations. That picture that I showed Kevin, I believe it was, of us at the Regent Mall cleaning out the kiosk. That picture went wild on social media when we posted it, and I boosted it a little bit. Wild in the sense of like people knew where we were. It was a relatable photo, and people kind of knew what was happening because it included a place that everybody knows. That's the mall that all the kids go to on Friday nights to, do everything from going to DQ to watching the movies to whatever. So people knew that place. So if you can get pictures of your brand, yourself in front of notable locations, that endears you to your audience. Time-lapse videos we're going to get into a bit, and then memes. I am a sucker for memes and comedy, and I think people in general are. They just don't know that they are. We tend to remember things that, create a reaction in us. And we'll get into this here in memes, but if you can create a reaction, you tend to be more memorable. And being memorable is what we want to be in the communities on, Google, whatever, right? So here's some examples of team pictures. This is Gary Nolan with Easy Go, posing with a friend locally. This is Junk MD, David's company there. He's got his team in front of his brand. This is Happy Junk Removal. We've got John Aguirre. This is one of his team members there, but they were doing some donations. This is actually Matt when he was working with Integrity Junk Removal. Just pictures of people. People buy from people. You're a person. You might be scared to take a picture of yourself, but I heard this from a coach, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And he was like, if you're scared to take a video of yourself or to take a picture of yourself, just get over it because you're the same person that shows up to their door. Your ugly mug, if you're so scared of it and think it's an ugly mug, your ugly mug's the one that goes through the door and says, hey, I'm here to pick up your junk. So may as well start posting on social media and get people, used to who you are and used to your brand and relating to you. You can do that by posting pictures like this. So that's one thing. Post team pictures, post pictures with clients, post pictures of people, not just pictures of junk. You, me, everyone in the junk groups, we see a picture of junk and we're like, oh, how much does that cost? Or it looks like money, right? But the average Joe, the average Sally, seeing that pop up on their Facebook feed, it's not scroll stopping to them. It's not something that catches their attention. It's just like, oh, there's a pile of junk. But a people picture is much more likely to stand out. Now, memes. My favorite here. I have a folder of these if you guys want them. I've got a folder of all the memes we use for Integrity Junk Removal. Some of them are branded. I think I've still got the Canva templates for them as well. Here's one. Want to save your relationship and don't know how? Neither do we. We remove junk, whether it's one item or an entire house, right? So you kind of catch people's attention, right? This one says, too much junk you have, integrity call, I say. Listen, Linda, if you've got junk, call Integrity Junk Removal. And then the classic here, the guy holding the cardboard, call us. So I got like 100 memes or something, and you guys can use those. Just reach out and reply either to wherever your text came through or your email sign up or whatever. Phil, wherever you signed up for the webinar, just text or email back and we'll get that back to you. Not a problem. We'll shoot that out. I don't know if I'm quite ready to make it fully public, but if you signed up to the webinar and you're here live, we can certainly do that for you. So that's Phil's question there. Jamie says, use both profiles, get known in your community as who you are, what you do, why you do it. I use both profiles. I couldn't agree more. So it goes back to what I said with use your business profile as the foundation. And then we'll get into it here in a second. When you're sharing into Facebook groups, you're going to use your personal profile to share your business post to the Facebook groups. And Mike is looking for the memes as well. Love it. All right, time-lapse videos. This is another favorite of mine. So memes and time-lapse videos are like my favorites. They're a little bit more edgy. Time-lapse videos take some work, but the way that I did them, almost every camera, Android or iPhone, is going to have a time-lapse option on your camera. So this is a time-lapse of the guys taking down a shed. And where was my mind going with that? Oh, yeah. So this is a GIF here of the video that I was looking at this morning that I pulled from the archives. You can create a GIF like this and put this on your website. So this can sit, you don't even need to embed a video. You can put a GIF on your website. And there's some cool stuff you can do with SEO where you share this out to like Imgur and different GIF sharing sites. But that's kind of an SEO hack. But back to making time-lapse videos. You can basically set your camera up on a tripod. Amazon has some $20 really nice metal tripods. You just set it this camera, or you get a random phone that you have lying around. All of us have those old models or whatever, and you just set them up and record while the guys are working. Here's another one that we did. So this is a very simple view that you can do instead of doing a picture of the guys doing a shed removal or something cool like that. This is literally just the truck being filled up. We could have even edited it differently so it was more action. But these videos do super well when you share them into the groups. So you're going to post them on your Facebook business page, and then you're going to share it into the groups, and then you can post it on YouTube like we've done here. And people just find it interesting to see the action and the activity that comes from a time-lapse video. Here's another one, just to give you guys some ideas on what we were doing. So that's a shed that Ryan's taken down. And it's just interesting to see, the process, right? People find it interesting, and it also draws you in because there's a lot of activity happening in the video. And then one last one here, just for ideas for you guys and girls. This was a deck demolition we did for a realtor. My brother and Ryan doing this. We're not getting crazy views on here, but it's helping us for the point of putting videos on YouTube is not to go viral. I mean, you certainly can. Junk Teens is proof of that, but they're really putting a lot of effort into it. We put it on for SEO and for us to share these out and have a medium to have the videos on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website, and everything. So there you can see kind of the value of time lapse. If you guys have questions again, shoot them over. I will go into more depth in the book again, like I said, but 405 says good stuff. Don't know if I ever got anything to sign up, but I did make it. Awesome. You can jump on our website. You can shoot me a message on Facebook as well. Just find me, Louis Vandervalk, on there, and we'll get over any assets that you guys want. And we'll dive back in here. So time-lapse videos, some of my favorite. Now, how often should you post? This is a question I get a lot. And my thing is post however often you can consistently. So rather than doing 10 posts today and then not posting for a month, my ideal is like 3 times a week. So you're not just scrounging for pictures every day. If you can do every day consistently, go for it. If you can do twice a day consistently, it's not just pictures of junk, but it's something interesting. It's something in your community. It's your team. It's a meme. And you're not just like giving people a deluge of useless stuff and it's just pictures of junk. But if you can be interesting, then post as often as you can consistently. My thing that I found most useful for most people is aim for and commit to and do 3 times per week. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your best performing posts from your posting on your business page. So the one with the most likes or the most engagements, and you're going to share those posts, whatever the best performing post was from the week, into the community groups. So Facebook community groups. And if you guys aren't in there, we're going to get into which groups to find. So in my case here, there's a Fredericton yard sale group. I was in about 20 groups that I frequented pretty often. There's yard sale groups, buy and sell groups. This is an example of just a random moms group I found. There's discussion groups. There's all kinds of groups on Facebook that you can then take that content and share it. So if we back up, we've made 3 posts a week on our business page. You can be sharing those posts to your personal page, and then you can take the best posts every week and share them into the Facebook community groups. Now, why don't we share every day or every post? Some groups will ban you if you do that, and some groups will just get tired of seeing your stuff in there. You can test it and see if that's worth it to you. But I found 1 post a week, and I would always do it Friday at around 5 o'clock. Now, why do I do it Friday at around 5 o'clock? I found used to do a lot of reselling, and I would do the Friday at 5, and I just found I tested all through the week and different things, but I found the most activity was at Friday around 5, because all the yard salers and the estate sale people were all going on to see where the yard sales were and the estate sales were for Saturday morning, so they could go out with their families. So if you can pop up in their feed right when they're going online, you stand a higher chance of whatever you have standing out to them. So again, you're going to take your 3 best posts, you're going to post 3 times a week, and you're going to take your best post and share that into the groups. Now, the other thing, I couldn't find any posts of this that I had actually done, but you can go into the Facebook groups and do what I call farming. So I had my list of 20 groups, and then I would go in every week and I would search for junk removal, estate sales, big bulky items that people were trying to get rid of. And I would comment with a helpful comment saying, hey, at Integrity Junk Removal, we'd love to help you with that. I would even do that for posts that were like 2 years old. And here's why. The way the discussion feed works in most community group pages, Facebook group pages, is it's set for most people to show the most recent activity first. So even if it's a 2-year-old post and you comment on it and say, hey, if anybody's still looking for help or needs help, even though, probably the original poster doesn't, give us a call at Integrity Junk Removal and we'd love to help. And now, boom, you took a 2-year-old post and you bumped it back to the top of the group. And now more people are likely to see it. So that's one way to farm Facebook groups. The other is to go on Marketplace and look for you can kind of train your algorithm pretty quickly, but you're going to look for your estate sales and yard sales and things like that. And you're going to message them and say, hey, I'd like to, sorry, not who I'd like to. So, hey, I see you're selling stuff at your estate sale. I know you're probably not going to sell all of it. And if that's the case and you're looking for some help, reach out. We'd love to work out a deal for you, especially when you're first getting started. Getting some customers and getting some proof and getting some reviews is so important. Maybe this doesn't work super well down the road, but this is what got us moving really quickly. Is I would do that for pianos, organs, estate sales, yard sales, big hulking TVs. I would message every single one of those people with that message and just say, hey, I'd love to help. And we got jobs off of that. All right, one of my favorite methods here. So this combines Facebook posting, combines community stuff, and it combines the groups. So I'm calling it the feast method. What you're going to do, and this is kind of the cool thing that I've got going on. We'll see how it sticks with you guys. I used to call it the Facebook gift card giveaway method. I'm calling it the feast method now. We'll see what sticks more. But basically, you're going to find restaurants. You're going to give away a gift card. Then you're going to share that out and everything. And then you're going to select a winner. And you're just going to repeat that process. So, oops. I have a link here. Let's see if we can find this here. So I've got a whole blog on this process. And again, I can shoot this over. But I've got a whole blog post that breaks this whole thing down too. And it's still called Facebook gift card giveaways on the blog. But basically, the concept is this. You're gonna find restaurants. And why do I choose restaurants? So I have seen Yetis being given away, barbecues being given away, all kinds of random crap being given away that mostly appeals to the male population. Our ideal population, our ideal customer for junk removal is often females, women. And so you want to appeal to them. And food is very appealing to women, to men, to young, to old, whatever you identify as, people like food. So that's why I chose food. And I would basically reach out to people. And I've got a script again as well that you can grab. But basically, it's like, hey, I've got an amazing idea that I'd like to run by you. We're doing a giveaway, and we'd love for you to be a part of it because it's incredible. And it's giving back to the community, which I know you love the community. Blah blah blah. We're going to post it on our Facebook page. Then we're going to run the giveaway for a couple weeks, a week or two. We tag your business, give you shout outs. You share the post, and then we even put some boosting behind the post so you get more people seeing it. And then we walk away and give this away to someone. So now this is really why I did it as well, is I could leverage well-known businesses and businesses with a big following, like restaurants with a big following locally. I could leverage their audience to help build mine. So rather than me having to go build those 1,000 followers, I could tap into someone who had 1,000, 2,000 followers, leverage their audience, get a free gift card that I could give away, get more eyeballs on it because everybody loves free stuff. And it just is this compounding, snowballing, wonderful, feel good thing for the community. So that was the process, right? So I would go find restaurants. That's kind of step one. You can go online and you can look them up, manually. You can also go scrape. I scraped a list on D7 Lead Finder, scraped a list of all the restaurants locally, and then I sent out a series of emails cold to them, just saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Can you give me a $50 or $100 gift card?" I did it in Woodpecker, and had really good success. Got our first few through that, and then people just started seeing it, and then it built its own momentum. But you just need a few to get started, and then it built its own momentum. And I've got scripts in the blog post there if you want to. But this was the post, right? So this wasn't even a food one, I guess. This was a scooter rental. It was becoming really big in the city. And so we did a scooter rental giveaway. This was a big meat market that everybody loves locally, very well known locally. We did a $100 gift card with them. And basically it was, hey, like the page, tag a friend, and every tag is a entry. And then at the end of the giveaway, I guess, so you're going to make the post, and then you're going to share it into all the Facebook groups. And I would do it every week. So it's 2 or 3 times that you're going to share it into the groups while the giveaway is running. You're going to get more likes and comments on it. You're going to get more views on your Facebook page. You're going to get more people seeing who you are and what you do and where you do it, and that you're a cool member of the community. People love movements. People love getting behind people that are doing cool things to support the community, and it just naturally draws them in. Then at the end of the period that you've determined, you're going to take all those names. I use random wheel of names. You just take the names from the comments. And if you get like 500 comments on it, maybe you get someone off Fiverr to count them up. So you're not stuck there counting for an hour and putting them in a spreadsheet. Put your 5-year-old on it. Put your college student on collecting the names. But you're going to collect all the names from the comments, and then you're going to put them in a random wheel giveaway. You spin the wheel. You can do this live on your page, and people love it. And then you can go deliver the gift card to the person. You message them, and everybody's excited. And what happens here is, this is a slide from another webinar that I did. So it's about a plumber, but imagine someone's looking for a plumber. Imagine someone's looking for a junk removal business. Again, I couldn't find some of those posts that we had for integrity, but people started tagging us. They started, when someone was looking for junk removal, they would tag integrity junk removal. People would, go out and be looking in the groups, and they would just, tag us in. And that was because they saw us everywhere. They saw the giveaways that we were doing. They saw the gift cards that people were winning, and they're like, hey, we want to be a part of that, and that's cool. Now, the other thing that we did, not gift cards, but giveaway wise, this is a nugget here. So I'm going to pause for a second just to kind of let you guys think. So it's not rolling into the next thing. I don't have a slide for it, but we would give away items that were still good. So let's say we got a fridge, or we got a desk, or we got a computer monitor, or something that was still good. And we would then post it in the groups and say, hey, we've got this. You want it today? Come and get it. We'll, tag yourself or tag someone else, and we'll randomly pick someone at the end of the day, and we'll go deliver it to you. Really good for free advertising in the groups. Really good, again, for rallying the community behind you, and really good for, keeping stuff out of the dump. I actually did find this while I was talking. So this is people in the groups recommending us for junk removal. So call Ryan, call Integrity Junk Removal. Integrity Junk Removal cleaned out a house. Take screenshots of these things when they come in, and then you can keep rocking that out. So it's just, that's the power of the groups there. Russell says, where can I find the blog detailing that? So let me see if I can pop this into the chat here. I feel like it only takes the chat into YouTube, but yeah, it's only on YouTube there. Russell, just shoot me a text and I'll get that over. The blog is also called Gift Card Giveaways. Just search Gift Card Giveaways Blue Crocus online, and you'll find the blog as well. But it is there on YouTube as well as a comment. But so powerful in the group. So gift cards, you're going to snag them from restaurants. They're going to give it to you for free because they want to join the movement. You're then going to run a giveaway. You're going to get people picked from a random name picker, and then you're not only going to have some content of giving a card to someone, you're going to have people tagging you in the groups because they see you. It's an amazing thing. The other thing that I snuck in here from another presentation I did a few months back was, when you're doing jobs with clients, This is a plumber specifically, because I went through, you can actually search for the webinar. It's called How to Turn One Job into Five. And I run through as if it was a plumber, and he was doing it. But the essence of the post here, or the presentation, is every job that you do, take a quick picture with your client, and then shoot it over to them in text and say, hey, if you post this up in the groups with this, a script kind of like this, we'll give you $30 off your job, or $20, or whatever you want to do. Test it and see what works. Get them to post it in the groups. So not only do you have more posts that look like this of people tagging people or tagging you in the groups when people are looking, we're going to have just people blatantly dropping your name in a post saying, hey, just want to let you guys know this was an incredible experience. If you guys ever need junk removal, give Integrity Junk Removal a call. They were awesome. So that's a power play there that you can do. All right, so we've talked about Facebook group networking. We've talked about building the community. What if you want to start networking with local business owners, outside even getting gift cards? What if you want to network with them just to start getting your name out there, starting to get to know people, to build your network? I personally don't love network events. I also was constrained by time and the time of day that I could go, because I had 3 or 4 kids at the time. So I said, what if I do this? I just did a 10-minute podcast, and you can see some of the episodes here. I just called it the Integrity Minute. I popped on for 7 minutes, whatever the case may be. This was a local physical therapist. This was another marketing agency, actually locally. This was a father and daughter who had a car dealership. We got a big clean out from them. But I didn't know these people before I hopped on. I just reached out and I said, hey, I would love to have you on my new podcast. I'm looking for awesome business owners in Fredericton. And I sent them the script of the questions. It was basically like, what do you like about Fredericton? What do you like about doing business in Fredericton? What's your best kept secret about Fredericton? And who else should I have on the show? So it also fed me with new people that they knew that I should connect with that were awesome. And we got jobs off of it. This guy here, we got a big clean out from too. This guy we got a clean out from. And I didn't know them before we jumped on the podcast. So you can do this. I know if Jason's still on here, he's just about to start doing this, because I've been bugging him to do this for a while. But you can just jump on Zoom or Google Meet and just record it quickly and then throw it up on YouTube. I didn't edit it at all. I literally just took the recording, started it. It's kind of cringy to look back at myself, but I just started somewhere, asked some really simple questions, and used it as a networking tool. And then I'd share it out to Facebook groups and be like, hey, I was on with Karen Grant, or hey, I was on with Jim Gilbert or whatever. And people loved it, because Jim is a very, very well-known person in the community. And so I started looking for those businesses that were well-known and leveraging, again, their influence in the community. So a local podcast is fantastic, not only for backlinks, but for social content that you can use and show yourself associating with incredible people. So instead of just going to a networking event at the Chamber of Commerce, which I'm not bashing them, by the way, and Chambers of Commerce are excellent for backlinks, but instead of going there and meeting a ton of people and getting a ton of cards, which has its place if done well, I did a really targeted thing where I tried to leverage people who were well-known in the community. This guy we actually did a giveaway with his restaurant too after this. And his was a longer one because it was just a fun conversation, but he's super well-known and well-liked in the community. And so I was leveraging his know, like, and trust factors in the community. All right, backlinks. So I've hinted at backlinks a couple times throughout here. Backlinks are the lifeblood of your online presence. So you're going to get your website up, you're going to get your Google business listing up, but what if you could add more authority to your website? So what is a backlink, and why does it matter, right? So picture we're voting in the homecoming queen, and the person with the most votes gets the crown. It's similar. You can think about it similarly for your website. Backlinks can be seen as a vote from Google to Google from other websites saying, hey, we think this website is so important that we're going to link back to them. And Google sees that, and it's using that as one of its factors to see what's valuable, who's important, who answers the questions that people have, who has trust in the community. Google has so much work to do to weed through all of the AI generated crap and the porn sites and the casino sites and all these random websites out there. So if you can give it trust signals from other websites, you've just saved Google a ton of work, and you help yourself be more likely to show up. So here's some links that we've got. This is just the simple Facebook page. This is the Blue Crocus, but it's an example there. This is, again, me getting on a podcast and getting linked back to. This is an article that was written about integrity junk removal. This was a community kitchen article that we wrote and got them to put on their website that linked back to us. All really powerful stuff. And I've kind of explained, building the trust and whatnot, but Google really has to figure out somehow who is authoritative, who is trustworthy, and all of these things. And so giving backlinks to your website helps you be more trustworthy. And it also helps your brand. So if we go back here, we were mentioned with a link back to integrity junk removal. We were mentioned with a link here back to our website. Not only is Google paying attention to that now, but the brand is being monitored by all the LLMs. They're being monitored by Google AI. We're being monitored by Perplexity and ChatGPT and Claude and all of these different LLMs. And it's really powerful to get links back, even if someone's just mentioning you in an article now. That's a powerful thing. So you want to be getting mentioned on different websites. And I'm aware now we've been going on an hour. We've still got a ton of people on here. Really appreciate you guys hanging out here. I'm going to keep going again. Like I said, I think I'm on slide 50 of 60 here. And I'm going to stick around for questions after, because this, I just get fired up about this stuff and I want to provide value, but appreciate everyone who showed up. If you have to run, there will be a recording because you showed up here. But back to the backlinks and to brand mentions. If you can get your business mentioned in a link back to your website, in an article on LinkedIn by someone, in a Reddit comment somewhere, those things are so valuable. So start thinking about how you can do that. I'm going to give you some ideas here. Reddit, for example, is my first one that I'm showing you here because it's so, so valuable. These are some ones that I've just done recently on Reddit for some clients and some friends just to test it out. And it's amazing. It does some really cool stuff. But if we look at, let's look at this here, right? Just so you guys can see junk removal price in Dallas. Right here, Reddit's one of the top search results in the Google, the search results there. How much does junk removal cost in New York? So you've got the AI overview. If you type the same thing into ChatGPT, it's going to be pulling from places. And Reddit is one of the main places that these LLMs are pulling from. And so why is that? So if you're not using Reddit, I would recommend that you get on there. It is the last bastion of user-generated content that Google and the ChatGPT and LLMs are looking at. And basically, it's someone asking a question. My mother's a hoarder. We've got tons of junk. What's it like, right? And then someone says, I'm living in Atlanta and I've used this company to do it. I used one a few weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. And then you get people upvoting or downvoting the results. So I could go in here and I could comment and I could say, Mike Fry's, company is whatever his company is. Actually, Mike, what's your company? Drop your website and I'll comment it right now. Oh, this one can't be commented on, but let me see if there's any other. I also forget where you were, Mike, but I could comment with someone's and we'll probably do that here. If Mike lets us know where he's located and what his website is, I'll actually go in and I'll leave a comment mentioning Mike's website. But these are some that I had done before. So Junk Force, Michigan. Okay. Junk Force, Michigan. Awesome. Cool name. Very cool. I'm just a sucker for websites, so I was just taking a peek here, but let's do this. So where is he located? He's located in Detroit. So I'm going to do junk removal Detroit. And you can do this. You can get friends to do this. You can get friends to come on and do it. So we've got Indianapolis, Ann Arbor. We'll do Ann Arbor. I think that's... Anyone have a good experience with the junk removal service? I know I'm a bit off here, but yeah, definitely reach out to Mike at Junk Force. He's a stud and can help you take care of whatever you need removed. Cool thing is he's super non-judgmental. mental. Darn, I need spell check here. He's super non-judgmental. Their website is that. All right, so I hope you're a stud and I hope you're non-judgmental, but I just commented that, right? So you can go and you can look for these different things. You can go on Reddit. You can even go into, like, there's probably a Detroit subreddit. Now, I'm by no means a Reddit super user. I've been on Reddit for like 8 years, but really just got going again this year. So you can go on to, there's an R Detroit. Someone's loving the city. There's a subreddit for Detroit there. So you could probably drop into the subreddit, and then you could even make a post once you get enough karma on your profile and be like, hey, who do you know that does good, junk removal in Detroit and does it well? And then here's a little hack that, most people won't like me telling you, but you can get your friends to go on and your family to go on and start commenting. Hey, go check out Mike's company. He's been awesome. He served, me on a commercial property cleanup, whatever the case may be. Like, be accurate, right? But you can go in and you can get some brand mentions for your business on there. Really powerful stuff. All right, so we went through there. So that's Reddit there. Get on local directories as well. I have a resource document as well that has a bunch of search operators for you. And heck, I'm just going to do it right now because we've got people staying late and we might as well give you guys the sauce. I don't have it memorized, but I have it in a document. Webinars. I'm going to go to resources. Guys, while I'm looking for that, drop any comments that you've got, and we'll give you guys as much value as we possibly can. All right. I think I've got it here on the other tab. Okay. All right. So here we go. Yeah. So get in local directories. This is 3 best rated here locally. You might know some local directories, but you can also do this. Since Mike dropped his company, we're just going to run with him. We're going to go Detroit, Michigan, and I'm going to explain what this is. So what I'm doing is I'm using a search operator here. And this is where you can basically tell Google exactly what you're looking for. So I want every search to have Detroit in it. And then I want to also to specifically mention local business listing, local directory, or list your business, or claim your business, or submit your business. Most directories have something like that on there. You got the AI overview here, and then you're going to see Yelp. Here's Detroit Internet Marketing. They're probably going to pitch you stuff, but they also might have a directory. So this one actually is just selling you on directory listings. Looks like this one's also selling something, so they're doing some good SEO, which is cool. Okay, so this is local business listing sites. This might be an agency that's telling you the local businesses. Oh, weird. Yeah, so they got a list here of just generic ones. You can also go on ChatGPT and ask it to help you. I don't usually come up empty like this, but these Detroit guys are really optimizing their websites for SEO. There's Patch has got some. Let's try somewhere else. I'm kind of striking out here, and I don't want you guys to sit around for too long. But you can use this search thing here. Here's some paid listings or free listings on Tugo. There we go. This is a Caro search. So Mike says his new website is coming this week. Mark says, okay, I'll get back to Mark's question there. I saw Ryan says, what are some examples of local directories? So that's a great question. Let's get rid of these marketing agencies here. This is an example of a listing directory, right? So this is some sort of search website, and you can list your business on here. So you can basically just come in here, and it looks like they have a free listing option and so on. And you just want to make sure, even though you can't necessarily list your website on all of them, they're still valuable for your business. Again, because of that brand mention, you're going to mention, Junk Force in Detroit, and you're just going to have that name out there for another thing that mentions your business name, your address, your phone number. Those are the important things that Google and all these LLMs are looking at. So I found some in Dallas here. There's a bunch, right? So you can just look for business directories. You can also just specifically look for business directories Detroit. let's see if that will pull up something a little bit more. Yelp, you can add your business. People hate on Yelp. It's a really valuable business directory. All right, here we go. Detroit business directory, downtown Detroit, midtown Detroit. Suggest a website or business. You can just jump in here. And if it loads, you can do that. You just kind of, not all of them are going to pan out. You're just going to go through and look for them and get listed on here. It probably says become a member. Might be some cost to it involved, right? So you go through, find them, see which ones are valuable to jump in and rock it out. Vladimir says so many gold nuggets. Awesome. Denise says the directory document can help me. I got on as many. Awesome. So Denise was on a previous webinar and she got that. Phil says, what about getting listed on the Better Business Bureau? I am on the fence, but leaning more towards it's still a beneficial thing. And here's why. A lot of our customers in junk removal are seniors. Well, there's a large number of them that can be, and they still value that. It's also a really valuable backlink. So I'm still on the, I think it's worth it more than it's not. If that's your first business purchase that you're looking at doing, I might invest in some other things in the Better Business Bureau right away. But there is some value in having the Better Business Bureau here. Mark says, did you hire anyone in the first few months? So yes, we certainly by month 4, we had a couple part-timers on with Ryan. And then, by the end of the year, he had a full-time person with him there. We reached out to people originally that we knew. So Matt actually helped. He's in the office right behind me actually now, running a different agency. But Matt was one of the people that helped out. He was the guy that you saw in the picture there. Phil, I think it was, he was hired. We put out some Facebook posts and did that. Indeed is a decent place to do it. I would get ChatGPT to, hiring can be a drag. I say this as someone who's hired many people in the agency and in the junk removal business, but finding the right person is awesome. So I would get ChatGPT to just ask you questions. You would literally go in and say, hey, ask me a bunch of questions to find out what kind of person I want. I'm looking to hire for my junk removal business. And then answer those questions just through voice text or voice note to it. And then say, all right, cool. That's the type of person. Now build me a job ad to put on Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever. And the general rule of thumb is 100 applicants for one good hire. That's across agency life, contractor life, junk removal. So be prepared to sort through a lot of resumes and try and put some sort of a friction point in there so they have to do something that weeds them out from the other 100 people so that you can kind of have a short list of people. We just went through that with Ryan. So many gold nuggets. Awesome. We went through. Okay. I went back up. Do my area. Vladimir, I'm like blanking on where you are. Well, let me pull that up right now. Snapper. So we used to do SEO for Vladimir. Snapper. Junk bins. I'm just pulling you up here. Yeah, Sarasota. Yeah, awesome, cool. Okay, so Sarasota business directories, Sarasota. So we've got the Sarasota local. We've got the Chamber of Commerce. We've got directory list here. Looks like this might be a whole list of directories. No, okay, it's just a directory. Best business directory, tons and tons of them. So you can rock through that. All right, what else do we got? Ryan says, I don't remember specifically what you were asking, what I was saying at the time when you asked, Ryan, but directories do help with SEO. They're a link back to your website. One thing to note is you can build out directories. You can get on the Chamber of Commerce, but you want to make sure that the links are indexed. Now, what does that mean? So same as I said at the beginning, when you build out your website, you want to get set up on Google Search Console. If your website is not indexed by Google, or if the directory page that you build is not indexed by Google, it won't show up in the search results and it won't provide value to Google as an information source. Think of it this way. If you donate a book to a library and it's just on the librarian's desk, it's not searchable in the database until they take the book, they put the sticker on it that has the book number and location and everything where it should go, and then they put it into their system and then they go put it at that shelf in the library. It's the same with your pages on Google or any search engine for that matter, but Google is, kind of the one people know. When you put a web page up or a directory listing page up, you want to make sure that it's indexed. And I started typing this and then talked because I can't multitask. Index Me Now is probably the best tool that I've found. It's not very expensive. It's like $1 per thing, per website that you want to get indexed. Well, actually, it's fairly expensive at scale as an agency, but we still use it. But for you, maybe you're gonna have 50 to 100 to do max. And then it goes through and you can put those websites in and you can index them and get them indexed that way. Denise, do you have one that you can throw in the chat that Denise is asking, how do you know if they're indexed? You can go simply to here. So we'll pull up Integrity Junk here. You're going to click into the URL here, and you're going to do site : and then you're going to have the URL http://www.integrityjunk.ca. So it's site : is the operator that you put in front of it. You're going to hit enter, and then you're going to see if that specific page is indexed. If it's not indexed, I'm trying to think of some example of a page that would not be indexed. Well, I could actually just do this. Where is Search Console? So you go in here to the pages here, the indexing. So we can go, I'm going to go look for the not indexed pages. All right, so here's a page, probably some cleanup here. Yeah, here's a great example, right? So the privacy policy on Integrity Junk Removal is set to no index. We don't actually want it to index because it's just not useful information for the search engine. So I do site : in front of it. And this is what's going to come up when your page is not indexed. So you can do this on your website. You can do this check on a directory page that your business is listed on, like the actual page for your website. You can do it on, if someone links back to your website, from your community, you can go see if that page is indexed by just doing site : and then have the page there. And this will basically say, hey, try Google Search Console. Go get this set up and see if you can index it on Google Search Console. And that's how you know that it's not indexed, is if that comes up and you've got the little thing here trying to find it. All right, great deep dive, guys. Great questions. So we've got local directories. Get on them. They're free most of the time. You can get on the Chamber of Commerce and whatnot. That's going to be valuable. Those are paid, super valuable backlinks though, because Google sees them as local, authoritative, trusted, all that good stuff. So charities. This goes back to this plays into a few different things. It plays into, getting and helping your community. It goes into backlinking. It goes into just being a good person. And so you can blend all those things together. And here's some ideas. So we did something where we sponsored the Integrity Junk Removal Kitchens. See if I can pull it up here. Yeah, so we sponsored the community kitchen. This is Ryan actually delivering some food from, I think it was Costco or Sobeys. He basically did a trip down there, helped them out. And then I wrote this article and said, hey, if you want to donate to the Fredericton Community Kitchens, we would love to help haul your pallet of goods or whatever it is. And then they did a link back to us here. And then they've got, a donate page, donating food to the kitchen and whatnot. So that was something that we did to do it so that you actually could pay quite a lot to be included as a corporate sponsor. And I said, I don't want to do that. I'm just getting going. But what's something I can do? I can write a blog for you that's going to help you rank for donations in Fredericton. You can include us. We'll include some pictures and whatnot. And then we got a link from that. You've got tons of different options here. A few of them, the Fredericton Marathon. That was another one. I just called them up. So I run occasionally, and I was running the marathon. And so I basically reached out to the organizer and said, we'd love to provide a trailer, basically a dumpster for you. Like, who are you using for dumpsters this year? And they said no, and we're looking to find someone this year. So we took our trailer down there. It was all branded, had our name, all that good stuff. We dropped it off. It was there for the whole event. And then they provided a link back. It's not showing anymore because we didn't get it the last couple of years because I wasn't involved. But these are links back to the sponsors. So our name was there. Our name was on the shirts. Our website was linked back from the website of the marathon. Really, really powerful, 30-year-old website that Google loves that stuff. So for free, just a little bit of legwork calling around, we got some of those things landed there. You can sponsor events, you can donate goods, host a fundraiser, write case studies, all kinds of stuff you can do. Those are some examples of what we did. Now, discount directories are so freaking powerful. what these are is basically, again, I've got a search operator here. So you need to offer some sort of a discount, even a 5% discount. 10% is pretty common, but you're going to try and get your website listed on a directory on either a government site or a university site or a college site. And they typically have like an employee discount page or an alumni discount page or a student discount page. And they'll list local businesses that are offering discounts kind of as a service to their alumni or to their students or whatever, right? So here's the search operator. And basically this one is for Philadelphia. We'll do this one. I think we have someone from Philadelphia, or maybe it was Pittsburgh. But basically this is looking for any website that mentions an employee discount or an employee perk or vendor discount or perk or student discount or perk or student benefit or alumni discount. Kind of got a whole bunch of stuff here. And then we go down through and we start looking. So this is Campus Philly. I think this is going to be a winner right here. I've just done so many of these now for clients and stuff. Campus Philly. This is companies and businesses that all offer discounts for the campus. And typically at the bottom of the page, you'll have, hey, you want to be on here? Submit your business. This one doesn't specifically. So I would just reach out to them and say, hey, can we get listed on there? We've gotten some really powerful backlinks that way for people. Here's one for college employee discounts. See if there's any other ones here. But you just look and you will find them. Here's some fitness, some entertainment, some higher education products and services. And typically they'll say, hey, if you want to get on there, reach out. So I would just reach out to the university and say, that's what we want to do. So yeah, Dylan's in Philadelphia. Awesome. So you can reach out to these ones and see if you can get listed on there. Just say, hey, I want to offer a discount to your students, your alumni. How do I get listed on the directory? Here's a senior discount program. That looks like it's actually a port authority there. You just go looking and you can use that to find them. Super powerful. Because Google, .edu and .gov sites, which is what most universities and government sites have, you can only buy those domains from specific places. So you can't just go out and buy a .edu and .gov domain. So they're a little bit more regulated, if you will. The other thing you can do is just ask people, ask your friends. This was a graphic designer locally, and I said, hey, I want to be included on your website somehow. I want a backlink. And he was like, well, I'm doing a ride for cancer. If you donate $50, I'll put you on my website. I was like, done. And that's still there to this day. You can also guest as a podcast guest. All of us have a story. Dylan might, so Dylan says, thank you for that. Also a Drexel alumni. Brilliant. So taking Dylan's example, right? He's a student. Maybe he's starting a drunk removal business. Maybe he's starting a business of some sort. He can leverage that to say, hey, I'm an alumni of Drexel. I'm going to reach out to their media team and say, hey, Drexel alumni starts a business locally and it's giving back to the community. Do a couple cool things, maybe donate time to the community kitchens like we did or something, and say, hey, I want to, highlight that Drexel was such an important part of my history. It set me the foundation to start this business. I'm also super involved in the community and just want to get the word out there about Drexel in the community. Obviously what we're doing is, I love it. But you can use that as an advantage, Dylan, to say, hey, I'm reaching out with a cool story. People are looking for cool stories all the time. We'll get into that here with PR a little bit, but I just wanted to take that opportunity there for you. So Upper 90 Solutions, love it. So anyway, podcasts, get on local podcasts. You can, again, just go on and search local podcasts. You can go into the community groups and say, hey, I'm a local junk removal business owner. Love to share my story on some podcasts. Who do you know? And these guys are typically, especially like newer podcasts, they're looking for guests. And so they'll have you on and you'll have a chat. You might make an awesome connection and, some brilliant stuff can happen. So these are podcasts. This is Dan with the Furniture Guys. Jake Still I've had on my podcast. This is a plumbing company that's been on there. I've been on a ton of podcasts personally to help grow our agency's brand as well. So super powerful. So Dylan, this goes back to the PR. Everybody listening still, this goes back to the PR thing I was just talking about with Dylan, where I reached out to, so I had someone on my team, you can do this as well. I just was tight on time. I basically had them email all of the local news stations and all of the business magazines and stuff and say, hey, 2 UNB alumni, University of New Brunswick alumni, have started a junk removal business. They're really focused on recycling. They're focused on giving back to the community, giveaways, stuff like that. I think you should write their story. It feels a little egotistical, but you just have to get over that. I can't say it any better way. And you can get some really good business stuff out of it and share the word about your business. And if you're doing a good job, you owe your community to make sure that they find out about you. So this is a way you can do that. You can give journalists a story to talk about. You can give your business a leg up, and ultimately you can give people the right company to call. You should have that undying conviction that your business is the one to call, and that's how you can go about these things. So this was even before we got branded. So this would have been in the first couple months. You can see the trailer picture there. This was Huddle as a business online magazine. So they just called me, did the interview over the phone. This one here, I was connected to kind of a bigger publication where they, I think they got I don't know why they said just 20 days here. I think it was because we just started it. It only took 20 days to start it, because we definitely didn't get to 15K in 20 days. But they just did an interview, and I filled out the information and whatnot, and got the backlink from it. So share the story of your business. Don't be afraid to do that. All right, so that's backlinks there. And I mentioned I was gonna drop a secret, and this is the secret. It's not a secret, and I hope it isn't a secret to anybody who watches this after, because you're going to go and implement it. If you are doing all of these things, you're posting in Facebook community groups, you're doing community stuff that gets you some backlinks, you've got a website, you've got a Google business profile, you've done all these things to bring in awesome customers to your business, you're getting reviews from them, you're getting mentioned in the community groups, you're doing all the things we talked about, you're amassing a list of clients. You better be keeping their name, their phone number, and their email. You have to be. Because what you can do now is then you can send out emails or text message follow-ups to them maybe once a quarter and just be like, hey, Mr. Plumber here, or Upper 90 Solutions here. Hey, it's Dylan here with Upper 90 Solutions. Just wanted to reach out and let you know that we really appreciate you and thank you for choosing us for your junk removal needs. We couldn't continue our business without awesome clients with you, and we don't take that for granted. Send that out, once a quarter, once a year. Send out some seasonal tips to them. Stay top of mind, because your customers do not care about your business the way that you do. Your customers care about them and solving their needs, absolutely. And they might like you, they might leave a review, they might recommend you to their friends, but they're going to forget you eventually. I've got a story of our, a plumbing story myself. We had a plumber come out and do something on a toilet that needed repair back in 22. And he came out, it was awesome. They were great. I think I even left a Google review. And then about a year and a half later, I needed a plumber again. And I couldn't remember who we used. I couldn't remember the business. All I remembered is that they were great, but I couldn't remember them. They had never reached out to me since. They had never sent me any emails or text follow-up, and I couldn't remember them. So I went back on Google, and luckily I found the same one again by happenstance. I just found the best rated one, called them, and it turned out to be the same company. But if they had stayed top of mind with me, they would have had a much higher chance, a much higher likelihood of getting me as a client again. That's what you need to be doing. You're spending all this time and effort to get clients in. Those clients have a lifetime value. Kevin Hess talks about it specifically with his experience with 1-800-JUNK. The lifetime value of a junk removal client is on average around $5,000. You might do a $300 job here or $500 job there, but they're going to keep coming back and keep referring people. So this is the secret to all of this, to wrap it up. And we did this with Integrity Junk Removal. We would write handwritten cards. We would do the email follow-ups, the SMS follow-ups, stuff like that. It's really, really, really impactful. So that's the secret there. Again, you guys might be as nervous as a salmon in a bear hug, but I want to encourage you that it does work. I'm proof of it. I've seen it work for other people. It's going to feel funny at first. Your team's going to feel funny taking pictures with clients. There's so many things that are going to feel uncomfortable at first, but the results absolutely will come if you're consistent at it. And then finally here, if you guys need a website, if you need Google business help, if you need SEO, we're here to help. Would love to help. And most of all, if you guys have questions, I think I have a slide for that. If you guys have questions outside of this, ask away. I love sharing the story. I got a ton of my information from the junk removal groups when I started, on top of my digital experience that I had already. And so giving back to the community is huge for me. But guys, I really appreciate you sticking around. We've still got like 25, 30 people on the live here with us here today. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to open it up for questions. I said I would stick around here for as long as it took, and my voice is still going strong. We're still good. Jonathan says, laid out a great marketing plan. The video is worth $30 if implementing takes place. Yeah, I mean, you do any one of these things and there's so much value that can come from it. Systems and process owners, 20% less the work goes to the workers. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but I like the first part. 405 Junk Removal says this was some really good stuff. Awesome. Are there any Facebook groups that you recommend? We've got a couple of Facebook groups. Like I've personally managed a couple of Facebook groups, so I'm going to recommend those ones. Let's just take a look through here. So this is not my group. This is Matt and Joni's group, Matt and Jojo's group. This is Junk Removal Turning Trash into Cash. Used to be Trash Talk group. This is a solid group. Lots of solid information in there. Junk Removal for Beginners is a group that I manage. Some solid stuff happening in there. And then this is a marketing specific group for junk removal that I manage as well. And all that good stuff. I think the live should be in here as well. But yeah, there we are. But yeah, there's lots of good stuff in any of those groups. Those are, I would say, some of the most active groups that I'm in anyway. I'm sure there's some other groups out there, but there's some good stuff there. Jamie says you're always down to earth and honest. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, Jamie. Phil says, what resources can you offer for website creation and SEO? I made one for my 3D printing company, but it felt bland and useless. Not one sale. 3D printing is a whole different bailiwick, as my mom would say. My gears are turning to see how I could help you with your 3D printing company. I would probably say like Reddit. What are you building, Phil? That would probably be my first question. Like, what are you doing for 3D printing? If it's just custom stuff, I would get in with like the engineering companies locally. My background's in engineering again, so I did a lot of 3D printing builds. So I'm trying to think through that. I would get in with like local college maker spaces, stuff like that. Get involved in there. Maybe there's some cool jobs that would come from that. R&D departments for local machinists. Again, I don't know what you're doing or what your expertise is, but 3D printing wise, that would be where I would go. Website creation, I would go back to Duda. I would recommend this platform to anybody. They can do e-commerce. I've not done e-commerce through them, but I know that you can. They've got tons of great templates and they have some more AI stuff. I haven't used it a ton because we moved to WordPress, but they got tons of AI stuff that can help you build a site really fast. You get that indexed, you get the backend stuff done on Duda, and it's really, really valuable. Yeah, I don't know if Ryan, if you were asking about local groups, but I would just go in and look for, I mean, Ryan, where did you say you were? I feel like you told me at one point here and I forget. Ryan, if you drop where you are, I'll go find some Facebook groups for you right now. Does Duda work in Canada? Yeah, absolutely. I'm in Canada. Duda works worldwide. It's just a website builder. Oh, you're in Fredericton. I forget. That's hilarious. Yeah. Ryan's right here, local to me. I'd forgotten that. Awesome. Yeah. Duda works in Canada. Integrity Junk Removal's website is built on Duda. That's Canada. That's Fredericton. That's as direct proof. Yeah. I remember we had a chat now. I apologize. Yeah. So Duda absolutely works and is fantastic. So Ryan, you can just rip this whole thing right off and use it as a recipe direct for Fredericton. That'll be great. Phil is asking because I want to make a site for our junk removal lawn care service. Yeah, so Duda would be the place I would go for that. It's fantastic, really, really, really helpful, and really pretty cost effective. They provide hosting. So if you've looked into WordPress and stuff like that, it will have like you build the site and then you need a hosting service and then you need a domain. With Duda, you just need the domain. You can connect it up to the website, and then the hosting is all through Duda. Yeah, Ryan, stop on by. I'm actually at Planet Hatch right now. Like that's where my office is. So just up by Winners here in Home Depot. That's funny. I'm so used to talking to people all over North America that I forgot. Vladimir says Lewis is the best. I appreciate that, man. You guys are the best. You guys have hung out here for an hour and a half plus, and that is not lost on me. That means a great deal to me that you guys would spend your time and hang out listening to me jabber on here. sharing what I've learned and what's exciting to me. But no, that means a great deal. I really appreciate it. Anyone else that I can help here? Again, for those who listened, whether you're watching the replay or not, if you listened in here, drop a line to me on Facebook. I'm Louis Vandervalk. If you search my name, SEO for my name is pretty easy because I'm the only one that I know of in the world that has a British first name and a Dutch last name. But you can find my personal website. You can find our agency website. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And there's lots of good stuff. Lots of ways to get in touch with me. Denise says, thanks you again. Appreciate you sharing your knowledge. You rock. I appreciate it, Denise. Denise, are you showing up? Who on here is showing up to the Junk Expo? That'll be cool to see who I'm going to see here soon in October. Burley Guys says, I'm glad to hear there's a replay. Doctor's appointment that kept me from listening to the beginning. Yeah, John, isn't it? It's John, I think, with the Burley Guys. Yeah, John, there is a replay. It'll be live on YouTube. It'll be live on my Facebook page once it goes. And then we'll edit this. We're actually turning it into a podcast episode. So some of the question back and forth might not make it into that, but it will be turned into a podcast as well. Thanks so much. Would having multiple sites be beneficial? This is a question that I guess I feel somewhat qualified to answer. I started my SEO days, I guess, building sites that I owned that I would rent out to other companies. So there's actually, just to really pull back the curtain here, if we do Roofer Fredericton, it probably isn't ranking super well right now. Yeah, I haven't touched it for like 3 years. Roofing Company Fredericton, I think is what it was ranking for more. Let's see if it's still up. Oh, weird. Might be down. I might have let the domain expire. Yeah, here it is. Okay, it's just dropped in the rankings a bit. So I built this here and it was ranking number 1 for like 4 or 5 years. And this was how I started in SEO. It was basically building websites, ugly websites that brought in calls, and then I would forward them over to a company locally. So I would sometimes build multiple websites and rank. So if you're going to do multiple sites, here's what I would recommend in the current climate for Google. I would brand it somewhat and put a DBA in. So if it was Snapper Junk Removal and Bins, I might do one, a DBA is like, I don't know, just making up turtle junk removal or something, as a DBA. Then you can set up a Google business profile. You can set up a website and a brand. Again, I would be more of a proponent of just absolutely dominating your main brand now with the way that Google ranks things, but you can set up multiple sites and you can certainly do that. The caveat would be, I think Google respects brands that just absolutely dominate everywhere. So if you're going to pull back some of your focus to building other sites that you could put into absolutely dominating everywhere and doing all the things that we've talked about consistently, I would probably focus your energy on doing that. I wish I was. Oh, I'm in Europe on a trip. Denise says she's not going to the Junk Expo. Okay, cool. Anyone else going to the Junk Expo? In October, I will be chatting there. I will be speaking there and really looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys. So I've spent the last 6 years being the circus leader to 4 kids while creating them, I guess, helping my wife create them and then raising them. So building the agency and everything, I've just been busy on the home front. So I haven't met 99% of our clients. So really excited to meet a ton of our junk removal clients as we head over there in October. But yeah, go get your tickets. They're going fast. Matt and Jojo put on a great event. I wasn't there last time, but I heard it was great. Ryan says, will there be any YouTube content created from the expo? I'm sure there will. There certainly was last time. I'm sure there will again. I'll probably record my talk and probably some other people's talks. There's definitely people there that are involved in content creation. So I'm sure a lot of it will filter out onto the interwebs. How would you handle junk removal and demolition with land leveling? Should that be 2 companies or 1? Well, junk removal and demolition, we did integrity just fine. Land leveling, you could easily create that as a separate one. So I guess that would be a caveat on a caveat to what I said to Vladimir, where I would probably build like a DBA and set up a land leveling one, and then have like a specific website that's all about land leveling. Then you can set up a Google business profile. You can set up all the directory listings for that. You can set up all of that different stuff, and that would be really powerful. Yeah, really powerful. Again, you have to look at, hey, can I use my one brand and absolutely dominate it for junk removal, demolition, and land leveling? Or do I have enough resources to, do well for both of them? I'd rather do one really well and have it be multi-pronged than do two and not be as great. I think you're talking about the multiple websites. Yeah, you can use them for backlinks. Jonathan says, what about emails asking for permission to leave business cards and brochures? You can make a post in a private group saying, come to this tire shop to have coffee and look through our flyer. Yeah, you certainly could. PJ Hickenbottom is doing some really, really cool stuff with his Facebook marketing. I had started the Facebook gift card giveaways before I saw his stuff. And then I saw his stuff and I was like, man, he had more time to really turn this into something cool. He started by giving away items. He then went on to like sponsor a Pizza Tuesday, I think he called it, where every Tuesday he would get the community to nominate a business, and then he would deliver pizza from a pizza vendor to that business. Now he's got tons of content from that delivery. He's got tons of goodwill building in the community. He's got the community rallying behind the voting for who should, what business should be nominated. He's really done some cool stuff there. He's now sponsoring festivals for free and all kinds of stuff. Ryan says, did you use any other manual marketing like door knocking? We did cards. So we did a lot of cards in like the Forest Hill area. Ryan, you're familiar with that because you're local. We did a lot of door hangers. We got some jobs off of those and landed some jobs just from, delivering the door hanger, because we would chat with people sometimes. But we didn't do it as hard as I would do it now. We definitely didn't canvas. I didn't realize the power of it at the time and how consistency would build such a cool thing that way. All right, Denise says, cool, thanks. Awesome, guys. Well, this has been a blast. Check out the replay. Share this with someone. If you guys haven't checked out the podcast that I do, check that out. Leave a like and follow on Spotify. I'm getting a lot of cool guests on there. It's called Marketing Without Rules. And this episode, what made me think of it is this webinar, this workshop will be on there as an episode. Having some really cool guests. Just lining up a guest who's building $1 billion garage door company, just to give you an idea of the caliber of some of the guests. So it's fun. Check it out. Marketing Without Rules on Spotify. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Marketing Without Rules. So yeah, you can see some of the episodes here. So I had a previous podcast that I grew to like 160 episodes, I think. And I rebranded, restarted, doing a little bit better production on this one. But some really, really cool ones. Phil's episode here. PJ Hickenbottom's is here. Brad Akers had a solid episode. PJ came back with some more info. There's just some good stuff on there. Is there any solicitation rules around door knocking? I don't know. I don't know what the bylaws are now with Fredericton. So check the bylaws, check the city, see what they say, and then follow that. I don't know what it is currently. There weren't that I was aware of when we did it. All right. Well, we still got 20 people on here. Guys, I really appreciate you. Let me know what's a topic here while I've got you guys. What's a topic that you would love me to go deeper on that we touched on? I touched on a lot today, and kind of gave you guys the fire hose here. What's a topic you would love me to go deeper on in another workshop down the road? Whether it's websites or Facebook group stuff or giveaways or you name it. Vladimir says, pleasure being here. Definitely influenced some positivity. I appreciate it, man. I know you're trudging through it out there, and I appreciate you tuning in and bringing some positivity to my day. This it means a lot that people would show up. Ryan says website building. All right, that's a good one. Like, are you talking like specific, like build a website on the thing, or like talk about website building? Because we can definitely go deeper into website building. I haven't done one of those for a while. Dylan says, I'd love to go over the giveaway a little bit more. Okay. I know I said I'd stay on here forever. I need to go to the bathroom soon. So I think that's going to cut our stream down here. Giveaway. I probably will do, Dylan, if you message me on one of the platforms, I'll do a YouTube video on that. If people reach out, and then maybe I'll do a webinar on it. But it's so valuable. It's one of my favorite. Google Business Profile, Ryan says. Awesome. We can do that. Some cool stuff I'm working on for that, so that'll be fun. Awesome. Structure and integrating CRM. Yeah, CRM is a fun one. Autopilot, if you haven't checked out Autopilot, Ryan, I would. That's great for junk removal. And then, yeah, texting people back, saving all their contact info. That's the lifeblood of your business. You now own those customers, and you can reach out to them anytime. Yeah, Andrew Thompson is Autopilot. Ad spend. I'm not a great person to speak about ad spend. We've done some ads. We've offered it as a service at Blue Crocus and then stopped offering it as a service at Blue Crocus. We didn't run a whole lot with integrity. We just found such success in the community building. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been fun. Nature calls. I got to go rock that out. Appreciate you all showing up here. There will be, we typically do one of these once a month. And then in the junk removal for beginners group, I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more frequently in there, just to help people who are getting started. But we will meet on the next one. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Ryan, Dylan, Vladimir, everyone who's still hanging out here. Denise, Jamie, Phil. I think I mentioned everybody that was showing up here, but appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one, and keep crushing it until then. We'll talk about SEO depth as well, Jonathan. Okay, cool. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Talk soon.